Anyways, let's just get right into it. We got so many episodes to cover. We are on part 26 out of 148. So, yeah, we need to like cover a lot. Let's see. All right, Jace and Oriana. So let's see what the original Jace story was. Oriana is just a robot, so whatever. All right, let's see.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay,
it is time right here.
we're
Not
back
figured
at
out
it.
just yet. It's time for another episode of the Lore series. What
Let's
we've
go.
prepared for you today is slightly different from our usual work, as champions that we'll be talking about are not related to each other. Instead, they're both connected to a pair of champions we spoke about last time. Jace, the defender of tomorrow, is an enemy of Victor that you already know, while Oriana is a being similar
Wait,
to
so
Blitzcrank.
Jace is an enemy of Victor? Meanwhile, in Arcane, they were kind of friends. I guess like towards the end of Arcane, they weren't too friendly because Jace kind of stopped supporting Victor in a sense, or like he thought Victor was going too far with his inventions or some shit like that, using the hex deck or some shit. Like they were falling apart towards the end of Arcane, right? So maybe they'll become enemies later, which would follow this all. This is distracted from the grind. Yeah. But Victor was still hard into it, and I think Victor would resent him for not helping him or something like that. Like it looked like Victor and Jace were kind of like falling out, or like Victor's attitude was changing or some shit like that.
She's not a living person,
Distracted from the
but a
grind
construct.
though.
Enjoy.
He gave up on the laning phase. It's like open top.
Jace had been brought up in the glorious city of progress, Piltover. Like many children of the city, he'd been studying technology. It wasn't his only choice, but it was one that he did not mind at all.
So again, like I feel like this lore, even though it's old lore, is in the future of Arcane lore, right? Arcane is way before, well, not way before, but like is before the current timeline of old lore, even though technically Jace should be like more important, Piltover and all that stuff and stuff like that did change. But it feels like this is like in Arcane, it's like young Jace before League of Legends Chase. Victor is definitely young Victor before League of Legends Victor. It's like a backstory for them. And it's like why they became enemies, right? Because like I don't think they're changing like Jace and Victor being enemies. They're just changing why they're enemies, kind of thing.
Promising young engineer, valued by many.
So like the main concept is still there.
Charismatic, enthusiastic, and charming.
Oh, it's charming.
When the government of Piltover assigned him to study a rare arcane crystal that had been found, he had seen it as an opportunity for both himself and the city. Using everything at his disposal, he's conducted a series of studies on the crystal, discovering that it could serve as a powerful power source. Eager to harness the power and make a name for himself, Jace started to work on a device that could use the full potential of the crystal. What Jace did not know, however, was the fact that news spread quickly amongst scientists. Soon, information about the crystals had reached Zorn and the machine herald himself, Victor. Seeing that as a great opportunity to increase his own power, Victor made his way to Piltover, where he offered to work with Jace in order to exploit the crystal's power to help with glorious evolution, as he called his body augmentations. Unfortunately, he is met with refusal by the young engineer. This was not the answer that Victor actually wanted.
Yeah, and like so again, like it's a slightly different plot, but what happened was Victor wanted Jace's help in Arcane, and eventually Jace stopped helping him, even though Victor still needed his help with the tech. Right? So he would build resentment.
And blasting Jace to the side, the Machine Herald decided to proceed without asking for anyone's permission. The crystal was a great opportunity to advance his research on merging humans with machines even further.
I didn't even realize you called him the Sigma male. Sigma. This is the Sigma male. Yeah, he's a loner type. It's the Sigma male. He's the loner. He's like the cool loner that all the girls want secretly.
Closing of the small security force in Jace's
male.
lab, Victor claimed what he wanted and left Piltover before anyone could stop him.
Sigma male is literally one man Wolfpack. That's pretty much what it is.
Jace wasn't happy, to say the least. His research was ruined, his laboratory was ruined, and his opportunity for fame was gone. He demanded
the mic noise was from the video, not from me.
Piltover government to demand justice from Zorn. either peacefully or using military force.
Yeah, sacrifice.
This was not something the council could agree to, and Jace's claims had to be denied. Realizing that he could gain no further support from his city-state, Jace decided to work alone. Returning to his destroyed workshop, he reclaimed everything he could, everything that had any chance to prove useful against Victor.
Bro, Sigma male is addicting, because now Jace became a Sigma male. It's like, I'm gonna do this on my own. It's like, I'm the shit. I'll find I'll fix it on my own.
It was not only a selfish act, but he realized that if no one would punish Victor, other Zornites would try to do the same, steal inventions of Piltover for their own.
Mm-hmm.
After long weeks of research, development, and testing, he's finally emerged, wielding a weapon that he forged for himself, his crowning achievement, the Mercury Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
The weapon was not only deadly on close distance, where it served as a powerful maul. If a need would arise, it could be transformed into a cannon, shooting small spheres of pure energy that could heavily wound a man. Armed in his most precious work, as well as other powerful creations that could protect him from Victor, he made his way into Zorn. He started his one-man assault, easily getting rid of Victor's followers and acolytes of the...
Bro, I'm telling you, being a Sigma is addicting, man. It's contagious. That's where it's contagious. Like, Jace just became a one-man army. It's like one man wolf pack. Go fought all of Zon just to get to Victor.
Glorious evolution who wanted to stop him.
Oh god.
Step after step, he's been fighting his way closer to Victor's laboratory, and finally he entered it. Smashing the doors open, he's found many of Victor's inventions, using the arcane crystal as their power source, and he realized that he could do nothing but destroy the power source itself. Minutes later, he confronted Victor, who stood in his way. The Machine Herald was not an easy opponent, and after a long fight that left both men heavily wounded, Jace had managed to fire a single shot that had shattered the crystal, causing Victor's machines to explode in flames. Jace crawled his way out of the ruined laboratory and returned home, where he'd been welcomed as a hero. While the government never supported those actions, citizens of Piltover knew what happened, and they were grateful that Jace had decided to step forward and make such a bold move.
It's like, you go, little boy, go, do your thing. If you succeed, we'll be happy for you, and if you fail, we deny that we ever knew you. Like, they couldn't send like maybe secret agents or like spies and stuff like that to help him, that like they can who they can just like say, it's like, hey, listen, like we don't know these guys, you know. It's like they're like, nah man, like let him fucking go do it himself. If he wins, alright, he's a hero. If he loses, he's a villain, basically.
He'd been proud of himself, but realized that such actions could draw attention of someone more powerful than Victor. He realized it was now his job to defend Piltover and lead it into a bright future.
Okay.
Oriana is a native of Piltover as well, but that's the last similarity between herself and Jace. There was once a man of Piltover by the name of Corin. He and his daughter Oriana lived a peaceful, calm life in the city-state. There was no,
if he loses, he's a loser,
to Corin than his daughter. He'd do anything to make the girl happy.
It's your warm-up match, right? So yeah, it's fine.
Oriana was fascinated by two things: dance, which she had the great talent for, and champions fighting on the fields of justice. For some reason, the young girl was greatly fascinated by the League of Legends, and her long life goal...
Oriana has the best dance move. She does the robot. Like, literally, that is her dance move, I believe, the robot. It's like, I know how, like, she's, you know, enthusiastic about dance when all she can do is the robot, but okay. Like,
to become a champion herself.
Maybe ballet or some shit.
With her father's approval, she started a training that could prepare her for the life of a champion. Day after day, she'd been training, putting new challenges in front of herself. She was so eager to train that she would often take challenges that she was unable to beat. It always ended with a couple of new bruises and even more motivation to develop her skills. Until one tragic day where she was meant to face a fully armed turret. Its power was meant to be lowered so it could not hurt Oriana. Taking a deep breath, Oriana charged at the tower. The first couple of shots missed her, but as she was getting closer and closer to the turret, its fire rate was constantly increasing.
Okay.
Oriana's trainer had been desperately trying to stop the tower and yell at the girl to stop, but she was in a different place, too focused on her goal.
She was zoned.
She was able to dodge.
Just in the zone, bro.
most of the shots, soon a first blast had thrown her down on her knees, followed by 2 more shots that had sent her down onto the ground without a sign of life. After this terrible accident, Corin had been left a shattered man. His daughter meant everything to him, and now she was dead, and he was still alive to bury her. He'd been driven into obsession, unable to cope with the death of his daughter. He'd started working on finishing Oriana's biggest wish, joining the League. His goal was to create a fully functional champion, a true killing machine. After months of hard work,
in memory of my daughter, I'll make a killing machine called Oriana as well.
Corin had created a clockwork girl that he named after his daughter, Oriana. He taught her everything about the real Oriana, her memories, the way she spoke, the way she used to dance, and yet he realized that this girl was not enough to become a true champion. He'd also created a protector for Oriana, the ball, the floaty construct using type of technoturgy relying heavily on electricity. Those two created a weird symbiotic relationship. Some call the ball a pet of Oriana's, but that is not exactly true. Those two are a whole, and upon separating them, no one knows what to expect. Getting into the League was not easy to Oriana, but summoners of the League could never stop themselves from inviting such a mysterious being into their organization. Many of them, however, are afraid of Oriana. While Blitzcrank was meant to be nothing more than a golem, his self-awareness makes him look like he was a real being. Oriana was shaped after a real human. She had never learned anything herself. She had been taught how to move, how to act, how to think. Her actions were sometimes too perfect.
Calculated.
That's what made her presence unsettling. Oriana always tried to fit in with those that she's around, but no matter how hard she tries, she's not a human, and it's quite obvious. Not a lot of people are willing to look past her nature and look for her soul, assuming that she actually has one.
Oh, of course she's not.
For them, she's just a dangerous and unpredictable killing machine that cannot be trusted. For her father, however, she will always be the best daughter in the world. And that's all we prepared for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave your feedback below.
That's actually like not a bad story. The Jace one was
you could also head over to the Facebook page as well, and check us out there. And we'll go back.
But yeah, Oriana's story is actually like probably one of the more interesting ones overall. Just a recreated doll of his daughter. It's actually not bad. It's pretty cool. I wouldn't call it the saddest story in the game, but Lucian's story wasn't even sad. Like it's just unrelatable. But like Oriana's story is actually, I think, is pretty good overall. Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one.